Completing the problem of the preceding situation. When is the height 20 meters, or can the height be 120 meters? Okay, the question is, can the height be 120 meters? Can it rise that high, or will it rise that high according to this model? Well, then y would be 120 meters. Your equation would be 120 equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 50 t, the given motion function, or the actually position function. We rearrange that to the form of a quadratic. And now we could solve the quadratic, but really all we want to know is there a solution to this quadratic? Because there isn't a solution to every possible quadratic. Why not? Because this square root of b squared minus 4ac does not always come out a real number. Why is that? Because b squared minus 4ac could be negative, and you can't do, well, the square root of a negative is not a real number. So solutions occur if and only if this is a real number. Because if this is a real number, then everything else in the formula works out, and you get two results, or maybe just one result if this happens to be 0. And of course it could be 0, and that would be a real number. And going the other way, showing that if there's a solution, it happens when this happens. That's we're not going to get into that logic right now, but my assertion holds that if and only if this is a real number do you get solutions, which means that this is going to happen if and only if this is a real number. You get the 120 meter height if and only if this is a real number. Well, in this case, b is negative 50, so you have negative 50 squared, and 4ac is 4 times 4.9 times 120, and it's minus that. And you can go ahead and evaluate this, and that's going to be your first impulse, because you're used to doing all your math on a calculator. I recommend that you use your head, so I'm going to do a little plug for that. We can see pretty easily that this is going to be a positive number, so that 120 meters is going to be a possible height. It's going to be a height that does occur. And how do we know this? Well, 5 times 120, that 4.9 is almost 5. 5 times 120 is 600. You ought to be able to see that instantly, and if you can't, you've done too much of this. You need to do more of this. Okay? 5 times 120 is 600, and then 4 times that is 2400. But 4.9 is a little less than 5, so that this is going to be a little less than 2400. Even if it was 2400, still when you subtract it from 2500, and I should probably put some parentheses, when you subtract it from 2500, you're going to get a positive number. Okay, so I need to write it like this, because as it was, it indicated an inequality that I did not intend. Okay, 2500 minus something that's less than 2400, which is this, is positive. Now that's all you got to know. It follows that the square root of b squared minus 4ac is real, because you can always take the square root of a positive number, and the height can be 120 meters. Now, whether you understand this way of concluding that this quantity is positive, or have to go to a calculator and hopefully put the numbers in right and verify that it's so, the main thing you need to understand is that this is the test, that b squared minus 4ac has to be positive, or, well, it can't be negative. It can be positive or it can be 0, greater than or equal to 0. And we could test, is this greater than or equal to 0? We did. You could do that by just going ahead and finishing the arithmetic. But I like this a little better, because it, again, exercises thinking skills that can be very beneficial, in a way that punching numbers into a calculator and letting it do the thinking, or letting it bypass the thinking, doesn't. So I recommend that you think one way or another. The one thing you do have to think about here is the fact that this equation will have solutions if and only if b squared minus 4ac is greater than or equal to 0, and you can easily evaluate that since you have the equation. Having determined that you do have a positive number under here, you know then that actually you have two solutions to the equation, and in any case 120 meters is going to happen. Once on the way up, once on the way down. As you should know, this quantity b squared minus ac is called the discriminant. It allows you to discriminate between different types of solutions. In this case, it discriminates between having no solution, having one solution, and having two solutions. We have two solutions, so the height can be 120 meters, and it's 120 meters twice.